All right, we're gonna get started. I might just have to break to let people in here and there, but um, so I'm Emma Gahn, previously Gustafson, if you had me before as one of your teachers. And I'll let the other first grade teachers introduce themselves, but we have Mrs. Haig, Miss Karasik, Miss Sophia, and Miss Vinecco, and Miss Jane are all working with your first graders this year in some capacity, one or the other. Miss Vinecco, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, my name is Jamie Vinecco, and I'm a teacher of diverse learners. And we're so happy to be back in person every single day. This is a delightful group with a lot of energy and eager to learn. So you've got your kids in great hands with this first grade team, and I look forward to learning with your students and your children this year. Thanks, team.
Thank you. Miss Haig, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, it's Mrs. Haig. Good to see everybody. Nice to see some faces. I am room 106, homeroom teacher. I will also be everyone's social studies teacher, and happy to see everyone and get our school year started in person. And so far, so good. We're off to a great path.
And then Miss Karasik?
You're muted.
It's a good thing I forgot how to use this, right? Because we're back in person in the memory bank. But my name is Mrs. Karasik. I am the teacher for 204. I am the first grade writing teacher and then the teacher for everything else for all the students in 204. And it's so awesome to see everyone. And I'm happy to be back in school as well.
Great. Okay. So like I said, I'm a Gahn, and I also teach science to all the first graders. Oh, sorry. So we're just going to go through a few things, our schedule, our curriculum, some tips, and there'll be time for questions as well. So our daily schedule looks like this. We have literacy from 8 to 9, as well as from 10 to 11. And from 9 to 10 is our special schedule, which is a little wonky this year, but Mr. Kennedy did send it out last week. We have lunch from 11 to 12, and from 12 to 1:30 is math, and 1:30 to 2:30 we switch. With the end of the day, we spend social emotional time, and except for Wednesdays where we fit in 2 departmentals. These are your special teachers. They are held on a weekly and quarterly rotation, and their emails will be provided for you in the slide deck. So our curriculum, science, I'll see your students twice a week, and we will be doing a lot of fun experiments, as you can see, and different topics, as you can see here. The biggest takeaway, though, that I want you guys to know from science this year is I do ask parents to bring in supplies here and there. Nothing complicated, usually like a straw or toilet tube, stuff like that. So just be aware. I'll put those in the newsletter and send home emails. So just keep a lookout for that. I usually have extras, but it is really helpful. And occasionally I'll ask for donations for some maybe bigger items. But kids typically love it, and hopefully we will get to do a lot more hands-on stuff this year. Language arts is, we do whole group instruction. We use daily 5, and there will be also small group time with each teacher. And during the small group time is when we'll be using our daily 5 time to do work on writing, word work, read to self, read to someone, and listening to reading. So each day they'll rotate throughout those different centers, essentially, in which they do different activities. So these are our sight words for the year, and you'll see these in your folder shortly. How we work it usually is that they'll get 6 words, and once they've mastered reading and writing those words, they'll move on to the next 6. So they'll be the first 6 in red, and then they'll move to the next 6, and so on and so forth. Each time you'll get a note saying that they moved on, and those will be the words that they work on during their word work time in class. Ms. Karasik, would you like to talk about writing?
Oh, yes. This is the subject that usually the kids dread coming into first grade, but I can guarantee that they will love it by the end. We work on small moments. We work on nonfiction chapter books, persuasive writing, and a whole series of fiction books are used for mentoring and modeling from different authors, which the students enjoy listening to. At the end of each story each story that we write, we have a publishing party celebration where the kids have the opportunity to share their writing to everybody in the class. And I kind of make it a big deal because the kids are, they're so used to worrying about quantity of writing, where I'm going to try to focus on the quality of writing. So it's not 20 sentences of nonsense information. I'd rather have that 5 sentences with great details, focusing in really on what you're trying to say, as opposed to just rewording and rephrasing. So we have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun. And the students just love listening to each other and watching each other grow.
Great, thank you. And yeah, they really look forward to their writing celebrations. I know a few times a year they do that. So it's always a good time. Math, we use Envision Math, which is the paper copies that you see coming home. So when we check them, we send them home in your take-home folder. And once they're checked, they can stay home. And we do have occasional tests and quizzes in there. And we also last year we were able to utilize the online Envision, and we're going to be incorporating that this year with their Chromebooks. So that's a good added bonus that we'll be able to do, and you can kind of monitor more closely online as well. Mrs. Haig, would you like to talk about social studies?
Sure. So again, it's 2 days a week for each grade. I will be coming and teaching social studies. They already have a social studies spiral notebook going. It's a little interactive. Sometimes we're drawing things, labeling things, 4 squares. Today we did a cut and paste on rights and responsibilities. Here's just how we will follow my communities: Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, giving, holidays around the world, Black History Month, Chinese New Year, traditions we share, our past, our present, Memorial Day. On the curriculum overview, it will give you the 6 chapters, how and when we will be studying them also. So you can look on the curriculum.
Great, thank you. So that kind of concludes the curriculum portion. Some other information that we want you to know is our behavior system. The entire school uses CHAMPS, and that is just a way the students know. We put on the board the CHAMP and S, and those all denote different expectations for them. So it'll talk about like what voice level they need to be on. Level 0 is in the hallway. What if they can move around, if they have to stay in their seat, if they need help, if they should ask us, or if they should ask a friend. So it kind of keeps everyone in line, and it's nice that the entire school does use it. And in first grade, we use a CLIP system, so for individual behavior management. So everyone starts on green, and when we notice good behaviors, we move them up, and maybe some behaviors that need to be reminded that aren't on task, they'll have to move down. But we mostly try to keep it positive and moving up, and use those down arrows just when we really need to. And when they get all the way to star student, they will they get to pick a prize at the end of the day. Scholastic book orders you'll see coming home in their folders. That's a great way to help us grow our libraries, because every time you order, we get points from that. And also it's a great way for the students to have more books at home. If you ever need recommendations for book levels, feel free to reach out to your student's teacher. We'd be happy to tell you where they're at and maybe their interest level. But the kids love it. And now because of COVID, they've added that you can just ship directly to your house, which is really convenient for us and for you. So volunteer opportunities will be coming soon. Hopefully, we're predicting maybe in third quarter, but right now, unfortunately, parents aren't allowed in the classroom. But so those will be hopefully coming up soon. On homework, we will be sending home every night. The students will have homework. We usually send it home on Monday, and then each night you send it back with the page that was for that day. And so every day we're checking it in, and then on Friday we will collect them. The homework policy for Saguenash is that it's a zero, or that it's a zero unless and half points for late.
Yeah.
And for the grade book, and you can keep track of your student's grade using Aspen, and so you can double check all of that. Did you want to add something, Mrs. Krasik?
Yes, I was going to say that I think at the beginning we were going to do these homework boxes. And what we're asking, because of the fact that, the students weren't all in school for the full term last year, but to transition them into nightly homework and to make the paperwork easier for the parents, we were going to send these homework boxes that it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all on one sheet. What we're asking is that the students get into the practice of returning that homework to school, but we ask for you guys to initial each box at the bottom, letting us know that they completed their homework. They're going to bring it back. We're going to check it in. They'll get a point for that day. And then that homework for the next day is still on that sheet. So we ask that you do not complete the whole worksheet all at once, but to get into the practice of doing nightly homework where they turn it in, we check it in, and then they go back home the following night to do it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then just one other thing on the homework also, especially I see for the math, the numbers kids are, reverse some of the numbers, a couple of numbers, and you can always have them erase and it should be going, the correct way.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
So the packet that I've seen in Iman's folder that's stapled together,
Yes.
is that not, I was under the impression that was her homework for like the night, all those pages. Is it one page a night?
We haven't sent home any homework yet.
Oh,
Hang on. I think I know what happened. So this is I'll explain you two can jump in. So we'll talk about the math right now. So it comes in a big, thick book. So we ripped out topic 1, which is a nice stack of papers. So every day we do a lesson. Lesson 1 is 2 pages front and back. So far, we have done it together. We have it presented on the boards. We're talking, we're working it together. The other packet that is incomplete, if we did 1-1, 1-2, 1-3 is in a big staple. That is supposed to go in another folder for tomorrow. Then we will give you 1-2. I think we are trying really hard, but maybe that packet accidentally got sent home. She put it in the wrong folder. Does that make sense? Or
Sort of, yeah. Okay.
So that was just classwork, I think what Mrs. Haig is trying to say.
Are we
and
to
that's what
complete
she's
it and
talking
return it?
It just got mixed up.
So are we to complete it and return it? Yes, right?
You can just send it back because we haven't sent any homework out yet. We're starting on next Monday. So whatever that was probably just classwork.
Gotcha.
And Mrs. Soto,
Yes.
also maybe if Iman was absent for a few days, it
Yes,
could be
ma'am.
the days and the lessons
Yeah.
that when she was not there, they were sent home for her to complete.
Got it. That's probably what it was then.
I think that's what it was. Okay,
Great.
clear.
In addition to all this, on Friday, so you'll get their spelling words at the beginning of the week, and they should practice those each night. And then on Fridays, we'll be having a little spelling quiz.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome. I think Mrs. Tassoni has a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Sorry, my accident there. I'm good.
Oh, okay, thanks, Hilly. Okay. So folders. Most folders we will take care of at school. We have them labeled and colored for what they are denoted for. But the 2 folders that you should be aware of are their take-home folder, which is that green folder you've been seeing, taken to and from each day. This is a good place to keep notes for us, and because we check them each morning. And we will, any graded work you see going home can then stay at home. You don't need to keep it in that folder. Any forms that I send that we send, you can send back using that. And then on Fridays, there'll be a big Friday folder that usually has different handouts from school and other important papers. And so those should be returned on Mondays. So the green folders will come back and forth each night, whereas the Friday folders will be sent home on Fridays and back to school on Mondays. In their backpack, if you have not already, please make sure you provide a change of clothes labeled in a bag, everything including socks, and we'll keep that in their lockers. But if you've done it already, please do so, just in case there's any accidents or spills, and so on. And also, if you could keep some extra masks in there in case theirs get dirty or wet. And the first graders aren't great with that, so they usually come with a chew toy and end up needing a new one. Their Chromebooks. So this year it's new that we'll have Chromebooks coming back and forth each day. Today, Miss Court was able to go around to, I believe, all of the first grade classrooms. I'm not sure if she got to Mrs. Higgs, but I know
That's
she got
mine. Tomorrow morning.
Okay. So every other student does. So Miss Cross's class and mine have each student has their own Chromebooks now. So those should come back and forth each day. And Mrs. Higgs students will have them for sure tomorrow. So you should have already had them unless were new to Sauganash. Then Mrs. Court will be giving those today.
And then just from a parent, sorry, Mrs. Gone. Can you guys just make sure to charge them throughout the night?
Good point. Yeah.
Because we do not, last year we did have the chargers. This year we do not have the chargers. So because some of the work throughout the day will be used on them, if we could just ask that the kids do bring them to school charged. Sorry.
And so also for the Chromebook, Ms. Court sent a late email and said that if you could, on the left side, when you open the Chromebook, on the left side, put a little Post-it with some tape or a little note for username and password. So we do not know their we might know the username, I'm not sure, but like password. So they won't be able to get in. I know that some of them may have trouble logging in. They get pretty quick at it, but at least we're able to help them. So we do not know their passwords. So if you can just put it on the side of their left side of their Chromebook, we can sure help them to get in.
Yes, exactly. That's huge. So a little Post-it note that's taped on there really nicely, or a label, anything you can do.
Right.
Their username and passwords, very important. Some other tips. So you can contact us by email at any time. It's on the Sauganash website if you don't already have them, but I'm pretty sure you should all have all your teachers' emails. And so emails a great way to get in touch with us. Before and after school is not great when we're dismissing the students, just because we have a lot of students to make sure they're making their way to the correct people. So email is definitely better. If your student is absent, make sure you call the school to report the absence. Each day in the afternoon, since we eat at 11, the day gets a little long, so we do have snack around 1. So if you could please bring a healthy peanut-free snack each day. Whenever there's any money for field trips, etc., if you could label those in a plastic bag or an envelope, just because, and also the purpose. So if it's for a field trip, just label it, with your student's name and for field trip, because sometimes we'll get students coming up to with a $20 bill and have no idea why they have it. So just make sure you label it and put it in those, either with the Friday folder or the take-home folder. And birthdays, non-food treats are welcome. Goodie bags with trinkets or small items, books, so on, are all accepted, but we're trying to avoid any food items. So if you have any other questions specific for your child or your student's teacher, please feel free to contact us, and we'll spend the last few minutes taking any questions. So I think I saw some in the chat.
Mm-hmm. There was a question in regards to homework. Forms to be turned in. So usually for the teachers, when the students walk in, they bring their green folders and we make a general announcement. Does anybody have any forms for the teacher? If there's anything to turn in. Each teacher does it specifically based on their classroom. That's how I do it. And then the kids take it out on their desk and they give it to me. And I have like a bin basket right in front of my desk that they put the forms in or whatever they have to turn in. Mrs. Haig, Mrs. Gahn, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do too. They come in and the first thing they do, they bring their folder in and open up their green folder. And if there's any papers in there or anything, that's when we collect it.
Yeah. Any other questions? You can raise your hand, type in the chat. Yeah, Ms. Soto, did you have a question?
Really quick, I have a quick question. As far as their lunch is concerned, they're not refrigerated, correct? It just stays
No.
in their bed? Okay.
No, they're not.
Okay.
And a water bottle every day too. We do have refilling, at the drinking fountain refilling. But just please try to make sure they have a water bottle. Even if they forget, just bring the empty one. They love to go and fill it at the refilling station. So just send one in with them every day.
As for snacks, 204 is a nut-free classroom, and I've spoken with that with the students because we have several nut allergies in there. So I just, out of air of cautious for everyone, no nut items, period. I'm not sure Mrs. Gahn and Mrs. Haig, how they are.
It's the same for me too.
Yes,
It's the same for us too. Yes.
So for all of us, we are just a nut-free classroom and just out of air of cautious.
And just on the snack also, they have their water bottle they can drink, a snack. It's a small snack. It's maybe, would you guys say about 10 minutes? If that, about 10, maybe 10, 12 minutes, something like that. It is very quick. So yes, they're hungry at that time, but just try to think about what you're giving them. Because it is a small, amount, short amount of time.
Any forms, this is a question in regards to the green take-home folder. Any forms or any papers that are in the green take-home folder that when you come home and your kid's like, oh, mom or dad or aunt or grandma or whoever it is, here's my take-home folder. Those papers are to stay home. If there's any papers that need to be filled out, you can go ahead and that's our communication between you guys at home and us at school, where you send it out back to us filled out.
Also on the math pages, just thinking about homework right now, they will have a test over each of those lessons. So it might be a good idea to keep those. We will give you plenty of time. There's a practice test. I think there's a practice online test. So we do a lot with them, but you might want to keep those lessons for the math test somewhere so you can review.
And I believe that 8x10 is only for Mrs. Haig's class. So
yes, thank you. Keep sending them 8x10 color, please.
I think someone asked when they need them, Mrs. Haig.
By the end of the week. Well, oh no, that's tomorrow. Can we have it by Monday? I think I have about 10. And it can just be a casual photo. You could just have them stand by a tree or a bush, some flowers, take the picture and do a print, 8x10 color.
In regards to the access for the math online, the kids, anything that is graded via classwork or the test will be completed at school while we are there. Any of the classwork where the students need extra practice, those are the green sheets that come home in their take-home folder. You may have access to these tests after they're completed and after they're graded.
Any other questions?
No, but I just want to say the kids are doing great. It's been awesome seeing each one seeing each one of them and getting to know them in person. So, it's awesome. So thank you.
So first, in regards to standardized testing, we will be doing TRC and DIBEL testing in beginning, middle, and end of year, but there is no NWA testing, just TRC and DIBELing.
And then there's also a new program called STAR 360, which it is going to evaluate and assess the kids from the beginning, middle, and winter. And I just found this out from Mrs. Munns and Mr. Kennedy. However, they have not got any directives from CPS. So as soon as they do, it will trickle down to the staff.
Yeah, we're not starting that at this point.
Did we miss any other questions in the chat? I'm just looking.
Right now, volunteer opportunities, we're not allowed to have any adults in the classroom, but we hope to soon. With COVID, we are still not allowed to. And same thing as to field trips. We are hoping to have some in the late winter, early spring, but right now, as of right now, it's no.
Mrs. Lama, I see you have a raised hand.
Yeah, I tried to get my head around the schedule. I know that there's like a PE requirement with shoes and clothing, so I'm trying to figure out what days of the week I need to dress her for that.
Yes. So Mr. Kennedy sent out the schedule, and we can definitely send it again if you need it. But the gym shirt and stuff, they said that with the differentness, and the young age, like it's okay if they don't have their shirt, but obviously shoes would be ideal for them to be able to run around. But that there is a schedule that he sent out. Were you able to get it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
this is
reviewed it. I'm just confused by it.
Yeah, you know what? I can pull it up and explain it.
That would be awesome.
That's a good idea.
Give me
Thank you
one
so much.
second. If someone else has a question while I get that.
Yep, I will. In order to access Gradebook, it is through Aspen. So if you do not have your account set up, you have to go ahead and get your account set up as a new login through Parent Portal.
I have a comment on that. I did have to email Mr. Kennedy to get him to initiate like an account for me. So I don't know if other parents, I didn't get an email that said any information. So then he kicked it off and I got an email like 5 minutes later.
Perfect.
I think that is true. That is true for beginners just starting on Aspen.
I think it's all of them because I don't think that they had Gradebook in kindergarten.
And also I see a question about field trips. Right now, none until we get guidance from CPS.
Gym shirts are coming in as the department, the athletic department receives them from the company that makes them. So as soon as we get them, they're going to be sent home to your child in their backpacks.
If you placed an order.
Yes, thank you. If you placed it.
Sorry, still trying to find that special schedule.
You know what, Mrs. Gone, it's on the day in the life letter as well.
The one that Mr. Kennedy sent?
Yes, it's at the bottom of it.
Okay, thanks.
And that's where we put specifically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
I see somebody asked about the book in a bag. I'm assuming that was done in kindergarten where they bring a couple books home for the week and then 3 more are sent. We do not do that in first grade. We will be coming up with another letter that kind of talks about different reading opportunities, we will be setting your students up, your children up on RAS Kids, Epic, what else am I forgetting? Part of the homework was going to be some fluency work and fluency pages that they will be working on.
In regard to the COVID exposure / quarantine, we are, I don't know even if CPS has given guidance in this aspect. Mrs. Haig or Mrs. Gone, Mrs. Vaneco. I believe it is quarantining, but who it is, I think that they're still going back and forth. If it's the 3 feet or if it's the entire classroom. From what we have been hearing, I think that they are going to flip the whole classroom, but there is no concrete directive from CPS downtown in regards to that.
I heard from a friend at Edgebrook yesterday that their kid was in a class where someone tested positive and the whole class is now remote for 2 weeks.
So then if that's what they're doing, then that's what most of CPS
And the sibling had to stay home too. And the teacher is sending work home for the sibling that's quarantining. But there was a comment that the sibling could go back after testing negative. So
Thank you for that.
Yep.
Mrs. Gahn, did you find it?
Almost.
Okay.
It's just loading. There is IXL for first grade. We have just not started it yet. Okay, I have it. Let me share this. Alrighty, so some of them say Gustafson, but that would be me. So we are in week 2 right now of school. So you would look at the orange schedule for week 2. So my class has had art today on Thursday, and they had art on Friday. They would have art on Monday and PE on Tuesday. And so then Mrs. Haig had PE on Monday, whereas Ms. Karasik had STEM. So then next week, what you'll do for week 3 is you'll look at that schedule. So on Monday, I have PE, but on Tuesday, Mrs. Haig has PE, and on Wednesday, Mrs. Karasik has PE, and so on. So, and then we go up to week 4, you'll follow this schedule for the specials. Does that make a little more sense?
Yes, thank you so much. Sorry about that.
No problem. It took me a minute too to look through it. It's also confusing because my name changed. Half of it says Gahn, half says Gustafson, so that could have been confusing. Mr. Kennedy shared it out in his last newsletter. I see someone asked where they could find it. But we can all send it out again to your classes.
It's located, yeah, Mrs. Gahn, it's located in the newsletter from Saguenash. There's the first grade curriculum map and then the first grade day in the life letter. And the schedule is color coded by the days of the week at the bottom.
Yeah, so this exact schedule, I'll attach to the newsletter again. So every week we send home that newsletter. You should have gotten one last week. I'll attach it to that as well. And if you can't find it just so we can have it multiple times. I think that's all the questions in the chat so far. If not, ask it again.
You guys are super welcome. Thank you guys. So then I think that's it, right?
I think so.
Otherwise, we can just sit here in silence instead. All right, any specific questions, you guys can go ahead and email the teachers. Otherwise, have a wonderful evening. Thank you guys for joining us and have a great night.
Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. Hi, Audie. All right. Is it just us?